IELTS Speaking Test, Part 1. Let's talk about your daily routine. What is your typical day like?
Well, my typical weekday is quite structured. I'm currently preparing for my master's degree, so my day revolves around study. I usually get up around 7, go for a short jog, and then have breakfast. Most of my morning is dedicated to reviewing lecture notes or working on assignments. In the afternoon, I often attend online seminars or do some research in the library. I try to finish my academic work by early evening so I can relax.
Is your routine at the weekend different from your weekday routine?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Weekends are a welcome break from the strict schedule. I tend to sleep in a bit later and the day is more spontaneous. I might meet friends for coffee, visit my family, or just unwind at home watching a film. So it's far less regimented and more focused on leisure and socialising.
What part of your day do you like the most?
I'd have to say the early evening, right after I've finished my studies. There's a real sense of accomplishment and I can finally switch off. I usually make a cup of tea and read a book for pleasure, not for study. It's a very peaceful and satisfying time for me.
Now, let's discuss the internet. How often do you use the internet?
I'm online virtually constantly, to be honest. It's an integral part of both my studies and my personal life. I'd estimate several hours a day, easily.
What do you mainly use the internet for?
Primarily for academic purposes, accessing journal articles, university portals, and educational videos. But aside from that, I use it for practical tasks like online banking and shopping, and, of course, for staying connected with friends and family through social media and messaging apps.
Did you find it easy to learn how to use the internet?
I grew up with it, so I'd say it came quite naturally. I remember as a child just clicking around and exploring, so it was more of an organic process than formal learning. For my parents, however, it was a much steeper learning curve.
Do you think life was better before the internet?
That's a complex question. I don't necessarily think it was better, but it was certainly different, perhaps simpler in some respects. The internet has brought incredible convenience and access to information, but it's also introduced new pressures, like the expectation to be always available. So it's a trade-off.
IELTS Speaking Test, Part 2. Long Turn. Task card. Describe a website or app you use regularly. You should say what the website or app is, what you use it for, how often you use it, and explain why this website or app is important to you. You have 1 minute to think about what you are going to say. You can make some notes if you wish.
The website I'd like to talk about is Notion. It's an all-in-one productivity and note-taking application that I use on both my laptop and my phone. Essentially, I use it as a central hub to organize my entire life. Primarily, I use it for my academic studies. I create separate pages for each of my university modules where I store my lecture notes, research summaries, and draft essays. Its database feature is fantastic for keeping track of my reading list. But it's not just for work. I also have a personal section where I plan my weekly schedule, jot down my fitness goals, and even keep a simple journal. In terms of frequency, I use it multiple times every single day. It's the first thing I open on my computer in the morning to check my daily agenda. And I update it throughout the day as I complete tasks or have new ideas. The reason it's so important to me is that it brings a sense of order and clarity to what can often feel like a chaotic workload. Before using Notion, my notes were scattered across different notebooks and files, which was very inefficient. Now, everything is interconnected and searchable in one place. It has genuinely made me a more organized and effective student, and that reduces my stress levels significantly. So it's become an indispensable tool for me.
Thank you. Do your friends also use this website or app?
A few of my more studious friends do, yes. We actually share a collaborative workspace for a group project, which works seamlessly. But I wouldn't say it's universally popular. Some of my peers find it a bit overly complex and prefer simpler, single-purpose apps.
IELTS Speaking Test Part 3 Discussion. In this part of the test, I will ask broader questions connected to the topic from Part 2. How has the internet changed the way people work?
It's revolutionized it, fundamentally. The most obvious change is the rise of remote work and flexibility. People are no longer tethered to a physical office, which can improve work-life balance. Collaboration has also been transformed. Teams across the globe can work on documents in real time using cloud services. However, the downside is the blurring of boundaries as employees might feel, pressured to be online and responsive outside of traditional working hours.
Do you think all information on the internet is reliable?
Not at all. In fact, a significant portion of it is highly unreliable. The internet is an open platform, so anyone can publish anything, regardless of expertise or agenda. This is why digital literacy, the ability to critically evaluate sources, check credentials and spot bias, has become such a crucial skill. We must cross-reference information with reputable sites, like established news outlets or academic journals.
What are the main differences between how older and younger generations use the internet?
I'd say the key difference is in their approach. Younger generations, who are digital natives, tend to use the internet in a more immersive and multifaceted way for social networking, content creation, entertainment, and education all at once. For many older generations, who are often digital adopters, the use can be more functional and task-oriented, such as for communication, news, or specific information searches. They may also be more cautious about privacy and online transactions.
Why is online privacy important?
Online privacy is paramount because our digital data is a reflection of our real identity. If it's compromised, it can lead to serious consequences like identity theft, financial fraud, or personal harassment. Beyond security, privacy is about autonomy and dignity. We should have control over what personal information we share, who can access it, and how it's used, especially by large corporations for targeted advertising or data profiling.
What are the potential dangers of sharing too much personal information on social media?
The dangers are multifaceted. On a personal level, it can make users vulnerable to stalking or phishing scams. Professionally, a careless post can damage one's reputation or future. Career prospects, as employers often screen candidates online. On a broader scale, oversharing can contribute to issues like data mining and the manipulation of public opinion, as we've seen in various political contexts.
Some people say social media platforms make us less social in real life. Do you agree?
I agree to a certain extent. It can create a paradox where we are more connected digitally but feel more isolated physically. If online interaction replaces face-to-face conversation, it can erode our deep social skills and empathy. However, I don't think it's inherently antisocial. For many, it's a tool that maintains connections over long distances and facilitates planning real-world meetups. The key like with most things, is moderation and mindful use.
How do you think artificial intelligence, AI, will change the way we use the internet in the future?
AI will likely make the internet far more personalized and predictive. Search results, news feeds, and advertisements will become incredibly tailored. We'll also see more advanced virtual assistants that can manage our schedules and online interactions proactively. However, this raises significant concerns about filter bubbles, where we only see information that aligns with our existing views, and the ethical use of AI in generating content or even deepfakes.
Do you think there should be more government control over the internet?
This is a delicate balancing act. Some level of regulation is necessary to curb clear harms like cybercrime, hate speech, and the exploitation of children. However, excessive government control can lead to censorship, stifling freedom of expression and access to information. I believe the focus should be on smart, transparent regulation that protects citizens without infringing on fundamental digital rights, and this often requires international cooperation.
Thank you. That is the end of the speaking test.